Welcome everyone to another week of All Mage Party. Sorry about the cliffhanger and then following. We haven't played last weekend. Sorry, Masen, and all that. We are joined by our usual suspects, minus an Australian, and it's probably going to stay that way for a while. Anyone want to say anything before we get back in to a recap or anything like that?
Anything.
Fantastic. Just what I expected.
Australians are subhuman currently.
This is to be
That's all
yes.
I want to say.
Well, I mean, they're literally down under, so yeah.
Yeah, they're subhuman.
Does this mean the drow speak in an Australian accent?
Crikey.
Another campaign, mayhaps.
I mean, think about it. They have a ton of spiders down there. It is the land down under. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, but they're under the Chinese, so you're implying the Chinese are human, which I don't like.
Good point. Chinese are elves or something, right? Bugmen of some variety.
This must be researched, but at a later date.
To imply that the Chinese are subhuman is to imply that East China is real China.
You really need a new mic, AC. Anyway, to recap, last episode, the party did have a confrontation with the Eternal Cabal, a mysterious group that nobody really knows what they're there for, and it was showcased last episode that the ignorant children of Mirball had no clue what their mission was.
Hold on a minute. Ignorant children and ignorant non-children.
Well, you're
Ignorant children and their equally ignorant playmate.
Yes. The equally ignorant kid next door. That's... and they encountered who 2 Alpha called Enorma the Deceiver. And on their return back to town after being rejected from the carnival, they discovered that their wagon wasn't where they left it last. It was left in a warehouse, supposedly owned by a Renault Glauton. Gotta double check that. Yes, that is indeed the name. And where we ended this session, the players were on their way back to an inn, being regaled with what the Eternal Cabal is by the totally unbiased 2 Alpha.
I object to this characterization, but carry on.
Alright, so you're back in the market square, and you're treading along the way to the east road out of the city. After a slight pause, 2 Alpha returned to saying what she was about to say. The Eternal Cabal is a organization of purely human members. These people, as their name suggests, are seeking immortality. Something akin to a true immortality. The likes of which... God damn it, AC. The likes of which your father and the Master have made great progress in obtaining. However, over the years, their mission was very distracted from achieving immortality for the sake of humanity as a whole, and the Cabal and its original members have split up. At the time of the joining, there were 9. At the time of their parting, there were 8. One of which was succumbed to an unforeseeable demise. Mirabal, of course, left upon his own devices to leave the confines of the universe to better research the divine realm and the immortality that they have. It was... Let me quickly use something. It was the other members that we aren't aware where their affiliations now lie. But among them, the other 7 members of the Cabal are Omol, the Faceless One, Enorma, Gaius, and John. I'm missing from that list.
Just John?
Yes, I don't have a title for him. He was, at the time of the joining of the Cabal, allegedly he was Mirabal's first apprentice.
Interesting.
Is there a reason Father didn't choose to tell any of us this before he set us into this world with this task?
From what I heard of it, he might have been distracted by the sword protruding from his back.
It's quite obvious to me now that he did that to himself as a pretext of dumping us in this world.
Now, Friedrich starts thinking. If he pretended to die, if he wanted to kick you out into the world, there was no real reason for him to pretend to die. Pretending to die would need to somehow be connected to your quest to find the Eternal Cabal. Maybe he believed that they did master this immortality thing, and he wants you to bring it back to him.
I certainly think he wouldn't object to hearing the progress on his prior members of the Eternal Cabal's research. Though, I fear... No, I don't fear. I do believe that the Master might wish to have them cut off so they don't possibly impede or steal of his research. And thinking about it, there were some names that I forgot from those lists. Hagskell, Renthal, and Beaumont. Beaumont was not really a mage among them, but assisted in the pursuing of the path.
Can you tell us anything about the ones you left there?
Yes. Hagskell is, from my memory, a druid of sorts. He resided in a very arborous region of this world. He was a druid that apparently sought immortality through binding with nature. Go figure for his magical origin. Renthal is known as the Timeless, who apparently seeks to manipulate time and space to achieve true immortality. He probably has achieved something of a long life through his research, but I have no clue where he might be. And Beaumont, the master didn't talk about him in glowing terms. He is apparently something of a knight, a holy warrior. He might even be from this region.
Are we even sure the rest of the Cabal is in this realm? I mean, if Mirabal could leave, why wouldn't they be able to?
It's fully possible, but those with the ability to teleport beyond the, before the time that the Cabal split apart, were only Mirabal, Rinthal, and John.
What about the necromancer that we faced a few days ago? Do you think he was part of or affiliated in some way with the Cabal? Because it's possible he could have been researching immortality through necromancy.
It is possible there has been a member of the Cabal that is focused on necromancy for achieving immortality, though he was kicked from the Cabal for pursuing methods that rejected humanity. This would be Beaumont, the undead king.
I have the oddest feeling I know where we can find him. There's a whole land devoid of life down, well, I say down south.
Well, that might be the place to find him. He, of course, if he ever learned how to teleport, he would be the greatest risk to the Master's research.
Considering only one of these members doesn't know any actual magic, he might be the safest target to go after first. But the undead one is the easiest to locate.
You mean aside from Enorma? Because we know where Enorma is. Or at least
we know where Enorma was. Besides, he won't get a chance to meet him again until a long time in the future, and he's forgotten about us.
So was it Father's intention that we assassinate these members of the Cabal as Enorma suggested, or what? Because the only instruction we had been given. Sorry?
It would be the safest route.
Safest for who?
For the Maker.
So not for us then. I don't think we're going to be doing that.
Why would you not?
Because they appear to be powerful enough to kill us with a thought.
This is where, of course, what? It's been so long I don't remember the character's name. Quickly double checking. William steps up and, of course, stroking his chin, he says, "But they do have considerable magic power. If we do find them, we can learn quite a few things about magic and hopefully a way to return back to the tower to see Father."
So the mission as it stands is locate, steal the source of immortality, but do not kill. Well, we don't even know the source of immortality is real, but...
This is where 2 Alpha speaks again. I would prefer it if you did consider killing as an acceptable option.
It's an acceptable option, but I don't think it's a likely option.
Not with that mindset. Well, you said you needed sleep, did you not? We can continue out these gates and finish the conversation if you wish.
Yes, let's continue. We could use a good rest.
Alright, so over the course of that conversation, you walk from the market square over to the gates of the town, and made your way back to that roadside inn. Once there, do any of you have further questions to ask of 2 Alpha, or do you want to start your character's preparations for sleeping and whatnot?
Thinking of questions.
Basically, quick wrap up of what was said.
She listed the names of the people, and she listed what some of them did, which field of magic they were in, and we had decided to steal whatever power they have, and try not to anger them enough to the point where we have to kill them.
The only question then Isaac would have on this matter, because I did overhear a bit of it, would be that is 2 Alpha a liability here? Will 2 Alpha attack first if we don't?
Is that a question to her, or is that a question you're introspecting?
Well, Isaac will rephrase it a little more Isaac-like
out of the
to
third
her.
person?
Yeah.
He's
Isaac will
alpha
say-
threat.
Isn't just straight up asking, are you going to be a liability, the most Isaac-like way to do something?
Yeah.
Just straight up look at her. Are you going to be a threat?
That's not exactly how they'll phrase it, because having lived with William, Isaac knows that is an insufficient way to phrase something to an autist. So he'll ask explicitly whether or not 2 Alpha intends to will be initiating any attacks against any of these individuals. If there is any more to this story, that anything else down there in that programming of hers that will cause it to be a liability.
I can count. I can count on 5 and 1 fingers. People that would be a greater liability than myself.
Bucky turns to Isaac and says, she didn't attack Enormous, so I think she's okay with letting them live.
I am here to assist you in your quest to get back to the Maker's graces.
So let me get this straight. You were sent here to assist them with a quest. They were never told what to do on this quest other than to meet the members of the Cabal. And you were given absolutely zero clarification of what they're supposed to do on this quest.
It is as Mirrorball ordered, yes.
Man, this Mirrorball guy, well, I can see why he'd take you as his children.
Yes, he is a great man, isn't he? William says.
Yes.
Alright, and of course, you can divide up the rooms at the inn, because you have to pay in to get rooms and whatnot.
Hey, for a room? I can just make one for myself.
Yeah.
Are you just gonna walk behind the inn and make a portal to nowhere?
Well, it won't be that obvious to find.
So
Yeah,
you
hide
have
it in
to
some
get a
underbrush
room.
or
4
something.
silver for a room.
Was that what I said last time?
I don't know. That's been several months ago at this point in real world.
Yeah, I know. Let's
So,
let's go 3 silver per room.
All right.
That's 3 silver we can save if we just all go with the pocket dimension option, and that one's air conditioned.
Yeah, Isaac looks at the signage for the room and considers charging 1 silver.
I didn't know your nose was so large beneath that helmet there, Bright.
Hey, I'm not the one who's considering charging. I'm just gonna sneak in when he's not looking.
Bold, do you assume you're capable of that?
Thoroughly disgusted by everything, Valak takes a room for himself.
All right. And
Isaac does actually make some minimal effort to disguise the entrance to his dimensional room.
So what? Well, most everyone went inside expecting to take up in rooms. Isaac's like, wait, I can just make a room myself, and he just goes somewhere out in the hills and just.
Do we have our cart back yet?
No.
Hmm.
You did leave
cart-
it in the.
Yeah, we
in
did
the
leave it
warehouse.
there.
Mainly because there are no beasts of burden to pull it, I assume.
Well, I mean, I theoretically could probably, but
Just to
It's,
clarify, my character wouldn't have been able to shove that in, teleport that object with teleport structure at 5th level or 6th level.
Did you have
Because
the
it says
skill points to do it?
that's a good point. Let me
Bit
go
of a
check that
problem.
my extra-dimensional space does not require a spell point.
bit of a problem there.
I think it does, doesn't it?
I think it's just concentration.
Yeah, right.
You'd have to be concentrating the entire walk while we're listening to Alpha.
Room. Only a spell point if I want it to persist out for some amount of turns after I step outside of it.
All right, so you can make it for you can make your interdimensional space for free if you so desire, but
It is, of course, air conditioned to my ideal temperature, whatever Isaac's ideal temperature is.
but most everyone else is being distracted by being social and listening to 2 Alpha and haven't gone straight into the end. Valak, of course, already purchased his room and is going upstairs. Fia, are you gonna share a room with Cal's character?
And I'm making her pay it.
Way to go.
I should remark that it's probably a bad idea to split the party, so don't go too far, Isaac.
You poke, or Friedrich pokes his head out of the end to see where that autistic child went with his teleportation magics and whatnot.
I doubt I could find him if he really tried running away, but I'm just hoping he didn't.
And whereas
Let's
William of course.
Which inn are we at,
Okay.
actually?
What was that?
Which of these buildings are we at currently?
Yes, we don't have the party wagon anymore, so I gotta do it this way, don't I? This one.
Okay, good. Where's my measuring stick?
Or better
Cool.
yet, I can do it. Oh shit, that's way too big.
It's a bit big.
Jesus flew off his mask.
Isaac would have probably gone some distance over here cantripped a hole for himself and stuck the entrance in that. So it's not glistening on the surface anywhere visible from the road.
You're just picking boulders and making holes, huh?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
I certainly hope nothing.
It's
bad
definitely
happens.
would have been within my my no spell point teleport range though, because I'm too lazy to walk out there.
What is your spell teleport range?
Currently, notes.
Also, can you even do that considering that you're currently concentrating on the card?
No, he isn't.
Oh, he isn't? I thought he
No.
was.
25 plus 5 CL. 5, 6, 30.
So 55?
55. Yeah. Roundabout sounds about right. That's almost perfect.
Well, also you have to consider the y-axis, but we're not gonna... Or not
Yeah.
the y-axis, the z-axis.
Well, the teleport itself is a straight line.
Yeah.
And I have unimpeded teleport, like just...
Yep. Anyway, so Friedrich, you're probably gonna have to either pull William's arm and go jump out into Isaac's hole, or you can get a room with William in the end.
So, Fighter
Isaac would have at least told the rest of the party which direction he headed off to dig his hole.
So, Fighter, Valak, Isabel, and William are in the inn, right?
Yes, though William does remark, well, if we do know where these members of the Eternal Cabal are, why do we not immediately prepare to go see them?
Did he even spend the spell point in the last fight?
No.
Of course. I mean, I didn't either, so I don't have any right to judge him, but...
Yeah, you didn't even get to melee the entire last fight.
Listen, I was shouting out on the outskirts. I was shouting, and it was effective.
Fusro, I'm too afraid to enter melee.
Who wouldn't against that fucking thing? All right.
Anyway,
I would probably go. I would probably go with Isaac. I don't know if I would let William accompany me though.
let William accompany you.
Mostly because I don't want the only glass cannon in the party to be caught out on his own.
Alright, and this is where William will autistically continue. Would it not be best for us to find transport for the night to see who can take us to the nearest place where one of these Cabal members might be?
Do you know what sleep is?
Yes, that's what I do between reading time.
Yes, see, you haven't been able to read a lot recently, have you? All of your books have been stolen and some such.
And yes, well, we have not been able to find our my stolen books. We also found a greater source of knowledge, and I do seek those at the earliest possible convenience.
Yes, well, it's currently not convenient. Most of us are going to bed.
Well, it's not inconvenient. Well, it's not convenient for you, mayhap.
Going off on your own certainly wouldn't be convenient for you either.
He rubs his chin. I wonder about that.
If he disappears in the night, I'm not going to complain.
Let's see. What are the rules on borrowing exit?
Anyhow, I try my best to leave him at the inn. If he wants to follow me, I won't stop him, but, you know.
Alright, and I guess he stays in the common room for a while. 2 Alpha being a mimicry of a human, she doesn't really need to sleep, much less breathe, as we've remarked last time, which apparently enables her not to be a thought.
Despite this, she chooses anyway.
If only she could work on that nagging.
Oh well. And she sticks around and I guess keeps an eye on William for a bit. Alright. Sometime in the night. Let's have the people that are staying in the inn roll perception. Only the people in the inn.
Perception. Yes.
Oh right, I need to roll for... Two... Alright, so... I have to do the rolling dice off screen thing that I do. Two... Well, alright. You don't quite hear anything that disturbs your sleep immediately. And
Even with the 22?
Even with the 22.
Damn.
Because remember, you get, well, you might not have known this, perception checks take a penalty when you're unconscious.
Ah, right. Right.
And the morning comes. Through whatever morning preparations Fia has, she remarks that the room has been rather quiet despite sharing it with another person. So quiet, in fact, she notices that there's a person missing.
Has the child been kidnapped?
For what
She
it
went
seems,
poof.
for what it seems, the covers have been pulled back from Esbel's cheap bedding, and she is not there. And neither is the scythe that she had brought along this trip with her, as still collapsed by her bedside.
Yeah. Who else is in the inn?
Valak is in another room, and that's about it. Well, to your knowledge.
Most to Alpha.
Yeah. Basically, whoever is closest, I go and wake them up to inform them of a disappearance.
Alright, so early in the morning, Valak, you hear knocking on your door.
What?
Isobel's gone.
And?
Well, you might want to hurry up, waking up.
You hear loud grumbling from in Valak's room. And several minutes later, he comes out appearing as a normal human. So what's this about Isabel being gone?
She kinda disappeared.
Yeah, she's known to do that.
I can sense the familial love.
At this point, Valak is kind of thoroughly fed up with everything. He's resentful of Mirror Ball for putting them on this quest with little to no information and deceiving them and accusing one of them of having tried to murder him. And yeah, Valak is thoroughly just not a happy tiefling.
Few tieflings are. Alright, so do you want to inform the people that are currently sleeping pleasantly in a hole somewhere, or do you want to investigate?
I mean, it's morning already, so they
We
might
should
not
be
be
waking up
sleeping
on our own.
anymore.
Yeah.
Well, they're in no rush.
To be fair, Fida was in no rush too. She didn't even notice what happened.
Yeah, it's not like we lost William or anything. What's the real loss?
Isn't losing William a gain or something?
Oof.
Just speaking from the party perspective here.
From Isaac's perspective, William is a nice research partner who will help him make very powerful things.
Alright, so minutes later, Fia and Valak are conversing in the hall. Of course, Valak hasn't had his booze this morning, so he isn't exactly happy. 2 Alpha enters the hallway and looks at the two of them standing out in the hall. Are you done lingering about?
That's a weird way to phrase rest.
Does Bucket have a schedule? Is there
He
a time
has-
where Bucket would normally get up?
I don't know if I would feel the passage of time in your space as normal, though.
Your internal clock should still function. Your body should at least. If you
Okay.
had a military kind of schedule, you'd still wake up at the proper time,
But
even
Bucket,
in an isolated, sun-isolated space.
Bucket has attempted to keep a military schedule, but he has found himself slipping out of it slowly over time because he's a lazy bastard.
Just wondering if at any point there was metal clink from armor waking up, but other than that, Isaac is still asleep because there was no
I
schedule
like how-
in
I
his
like how
research.
You should hear Bucket creating another piece of bound equipment, a set of boots.
Are they metal boots?
They are the same boots he has on his current plate armor, but he modified them to allow him to fly.
That makes me wonder. The thing that you haven't wondered yet, AC. What sound does your extra-dimensional space make when material collides with it?
Depends on what you ruled the walls of the extra-dimensional space to be made of.
Space, but bounded.
Then it shouldn't make a sound. Unless you rule that those surfaces are capable of reverberating sound, which also has interesting properties.
At the very least, you
Well,
probably hear the sound of
the item that
graves.
collides with it still.
Yeah, it might.
It would be
We are
really
more
weird
than welcome
if
to
they.
get into the autistic properties of the
uh,
hardness and the physical properties of this space, Verdant, if you so wish.
It
I
would be
think-
really weird if they didn't make sound, though.
I appreciate your mercy. So at least you can hear the sound of Bright's greaves squeaking or something early in the
Yes.
morning. Back at the inn, of course, Two Alpha was saying, I've waited outside a great many hours for you people to get up. Where's the heavy-chested one?
We do not know. She
Wait,
appears to have
which-
disappeared.
Oh,
Pardon?
hold on. Is two alpha flat?
Let me look at the character sheet to answer that question. Difficult to tell. I'd
Because
say
it
no.
sounds like envy when she says heavy chested one. That's envy right there.
And if you were in the room, she would answer, I am a homunculus. I don't feel envy.
If she's a woman, she feels envy.
But that is the most descriptive property of Esbel when you look at her character sheet. So
Not the fact that she's a ghost person.
it's because she doesn't actually look like a ghost person when she's not a ghost.
That's still you probably reference the fact that she's capable of being a ghost.
You would figure she'd look like a sickly little child, at least.
I'm not the one
What
that
do ghost
I'm not
people
the
eat?
one that drew the art for Esbel. Anyway. She says she's gone. Where did she go?
We don't know.
This, of course, is another time where she breathlessly sighs and nurses the bridge of her nose. I'm gonna go check with the two others that have dug themselves a hole, and then find William, and we can talk about this further. She says this before marching away, kind of distraught of where her very brief life has ended up. Alright,
Sounds good, says Alec. I'm going to get some breakfast.
Alright, so AC, did you cover up your hole at all?
Kinda.
He covered it up, but not well enough for me to not find it. All right.
Well, you probably were able to witness him doing it because you were trying to keep an eye on him specifically.
I suppose that does make sense.
The most Isaac would have done is cover it with a relatively thin sheet of metal and brush some dirt over it before teleporting below the sheet of metal.
At which point, of course, Friedrich would have knocked on that metal and asked to be let in.
Of course, Isaac would have popped back out and back down. But the cover Isaac would have invented himself would be most cover Isaac makes, where I don't explicitly state, is just assumed to be heavily relying on the fact that I can teleport behind walls.
Alright, so despite your camouflage, Isaac hears the metallic knocking of someone that has discovered his barely concealed hole in the ground. And shortly thereafter, through the muffling of metal, he hears 2 Alpha's voice. It's time to get out of there.
Does the voice cross the portal?
Yes, because it's still connected to the world.
Just making sure, because that has interesting implications.
If physical matter can travel through, so does sound.
That means I can theoretically shout through the door and still deal damage.
Yes. That is precisely what that means.
So we could just set up a. Interesting. I'm just thinking of the kill box possibilities with my voice and that door.
That pism can be for later, though.
Yes, let's move.
Isaac, just for a future note, Isaac has shoved his stash, his coin, in his extra-dimensional storage. It is not on his person anymore.
Okay.
I'd ask you to carry mine, but you'd probably charge me a fee.
That's a brilliant idea.
So you have no money as long as you have no spell points. Got it.
No, I can bring out stuff with concentration. The only thing that requires spell points to withdraw is store structure.
So if you lose concentration, you can't.
Let me go look at the rules for that specifically. But yes, Isaac.
If you lose concentration, does all of your money just spill out of you?
No, it's just permanently there. It's concentration to put in, concentration to put out, I believe. Let's see.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Where is storage?
While you're looking that up, once you've completed the preparations lead there, 2 Alpha can be seen leading you guys along back to the inn. There are a couple people missing from this meeting.
Close
It's
to
a
the
full
ground.
round action, not concentration action.
Yes.
How close to the ground can I float while it's still being counted as flying?
An inch.
Alright, I'm just floating an inch above the ground as I'm floating alongside them.
So you're like no clip running through the air.
Basically.
Yeah.
I imagine these work similar to some sort of rocket boot, but
There's an
it's clearly
interesting
no fire there.
Noticing this interesting phenomenon, Isaac decides to apply force to Bucket to see if he glides up above the surface.
What level of maneuverability does the flight give you?
Let me check the exact thing. Armorist. It's average, +2.
Okay, so you pretty much can only fly in straight lines or you have to do a turning angle thing.
So basically, Bucket will behave like a puck on an air hockey table.
Kind of. Though, when he himself does it, he can't maneuver that well flying.
That's good to know.
Anyway, you get to the end. William and Isabel aren't there. Valek's already eating. And Fia, did you decide to get breakfast, or did your character just start looking some more for Isabel?
Well, I would have probably checked out for any clues in the room before getting any breakfast.
You look around and you find a letter on the bedside table that was next to Isabel's bedding.
So, yeah, read that.
Is Isaac with the rest of the party yet?
Yep.
Then Isaac will say, wait. Did we not learn our lesson with William?
I doubt the kidnappers left a magical note behind.
So
That's not
yeah,
guaranteed.
maybe try detect magic cantrip on it before reading it.
You do not detect magic on the letter.
Oh, then it's safe to peruse.
And
Isaac will keep Isaac will keep a sizable distance.
If it explodes.
And upon mention of William, 2 Alpha says he has been in the market since this morning trying to seek passage to, and I quote, a place filled with undead.
What?
Is he mentally stable? Just checking. Like I understand
No.
that he's not completely. I understand that he's not completely normal, but waltzing into a land filled with nothing but death is not a smart move.
Isaac will respond, looking at the rest of the party and kind of thinking inwardly and respond with, "He is father's child."
Where 2 Alpha says, I would say this is your fault, Friedrich, for simply saying that.
Well, he would have found out sooner or later, and it's probably best we tell him.
Well, yes, but now he's eagerly trying to find a passage to such a place so he can find one of the Eternal Cabal members.
Besides, shouldn't we be going after the knight first? If he is just an ordinary knight, that is.
It's possible that he's dead. He's not, like I said before, he's not one of the most magical members, but he might have achieved some measure of immortality and found a way to live in this region.
How long ago has the Cabal split from Mirabal?
Has to be at least 100 years because that's how long I've been father, Valak says.
Well, you speak of the passage of time. 2 Alpha seems to blink for a moment, then ponder to herself for a moment. I don't think I got anything about time frame.
Of course. Do I know? Does Bucket know that she was grown in a lab vat or something?
She might have referenced something of that sort once or twice.
Right. He doesn't mention it in any case. Would be rude.
Literally test tube baby.
They made her ass. They made her ass in a lab, and she still couldn't turn out attractive.
Isaac is a bit interested in the stuff in the warehouse now. That he has the ability to just walk away with it.
We should consider dealing with the fact that one of our friends lost all of their money in a chest that was in the cart, if I remember correctly.
Among other things.
Yeah, we should probably deal with the local.
We have like 4 problems right now.
Yeah, speaking of problems and things are lost, Thea, you are reading the letter now, right?
Yes.
Alright, so within is a very brief letter, merely one line that says, Well, 2 lines. We've protected your things. Come and meet us. R.
Protected.
Uh,
Protected. Jesus Christ.
and there's a postscript. We'll find you at the marketplace.
Hmm. What's the
Isaac,
stance
we
of
go
what's the stance on slavery in this place?
Good news, there isn't any slavery in, what is this area?
DRNS.
DRNS, thank you for reminding me. There's no slavery in DRNS, however, most other races aren't seen as human, so, they may just be killed on sight. Not that anyone here
the big thing I'm wondering is that they apparently took Isabel, and they're going to meet us at the market. So
Yeah.
I'm just worried she isn't the thing they're selling.
Well, that's if they're selling anything at all.
I suppose. So how do we want to approach this? Since I can fly now, do you want me to provide air support?
They fly now.
Yes, I can fly now.
The,
I have not stopped showing off the fact that I have new flight boots. Everywhere where it's feasible, I float 1 inch above the ground.
Valak,
Which is
pipe
remarkable
that
since you're
says,
just floating above a chair right now.
Exactly.
He is sitting in that show-off chair pose above the chair, 1 inch above.
The mystery of the druid's pose.
Okay. You were saying something, Doc?
Valak suggests that he could turn himself invisible and kind of be kept as a secret, and that way, if a confrontation happens, they won't be expecting him. He might be able to follow them if need be, and they would never know about it when everybody else goes to meet these people.
Two Alpha stands up. Then I suppose it's time for us to enter into the marketplace then.
Nothing to it.
Yep.
Alright, so, moments pass, you enter back into the town. There's only, Isabel that can get the, 1 copper tax deduction,
I can do it too. Wait,
well,
don't I have free access because of my?
Yes. And Friedrich.
I
yes.
get to, yeah.
And Valak, since they don't see him.
Yes, they don't see him. So,
Wait,
in the end, Isaac has to pay.
I will ask the guards to let him through because he's with me.
You know what? Yeah, you're what, iron?
I will do so. I will, yes, and I will do. I'm iron symbol, and I will do so while I'm levitating. Just the flex on the guards.
They look at you rather oddly when they notice that your shadow is not connected to your feet. But they don't make a big deal out of it as of yet. There we go.
We pay no tax here. This is fine.
All right. So you
Taxation
arrive at
itself.
the. I'm sorry.
It said as he passes by the guards, Valak mutters, "Taxation is theft."
Oi, who said that?
It's your conscience, my friend. Don't worry about it.
Oi, conkers can fuck off.
The gang accidentally starts an anarcho-capitalist revolution.
Anyway, alright, so you arrive at the market. For the morning, activity is slightly bustling out here. 2 Alpha said that William was out here looking for transport, but he is not readily apparent. But you do get approached by some a rough-looking duo of men wearing brigandine, because there's no such thing as studded leather. And one of them, a bald man with a scar underneath his eye, says, "You dim mages from out of town, outland, aren't you?"
Just look him up and down while floating.
Yeah, that black plate man must be one of them. You're coming with us. Renew wants to see you.
Sure. Let's come peacefully for now.
You're gonna come peacefully?
Yes. We can escalate things quickly if need be.
Yes.
Alright, so they escort you down the riverside into an alley region in what looks to be the more well-off portion of town.
Well-off portion of town, but they have to take the road next to the river to get to it?
Yeah, it's not traveled by wagons and stuff. Have you ever seen a well-off portion of town where trains run through it?
Have you ever seen a medieval river? Those things tend to be literally black in cities with how awful they are. You think the rich would want to get away from it as far as possible?
Well, this river's not black.
Huh. Odd.
Does it flow north or south?
It flows west.
Yeah, west. Yeah.
If it flows north, then it might make sense that they are not bothered, because they'd be the one causing the garbage to the river.
Yeah, it flows from east to west, so that area is at the upstream end of the part that goes through town.
In that case, I guess it makes sense.
Anyhow, you see that they're leading you to a 2-story villa type building.
Does it have a balcony?
It does indeed have a balcony, yes.
I asked them if we're meeting them on the second floor.
Nah. You lot meeting in the basement. Business rooms down there.
Fine. See, I was gonna flex on them by flying up directly to the balcony, but
and your ghost girl's not here, so you can't float down.
Shame. Well, I theoretically could pay a spell point and just burrow down.
Alright. So you're escorted in through a pair of cellar doors that are within a fenced-off garden area. There are more men dressed like these folk with a sword and a dagger at their hips, with cheap but effective armor being worn. They lead you down through the cellar hallway till you get to a room about 20 feet back. Once you're in the room, you step off what appeared to be like a stone flooring in the hallway onto wooden floors. There's a desk within, and behind it sits a man with his with blackened hair, fully slicked back, and tied in the back with a ponytail. He has this slight soul patch below his lower lip. He says, "Ah, welcome. I heard you were looking for some things that were recovered."
I assume you must be Renault?
Yes, I am Renaud Glaton, a businessman working with the lord of this region.
I extend my hand for a handshake.
Is your hand gonna hover 1 inch above him?
No, I am. I'm not yet. I plan to start floating if I need to intimidate him, but for now I'm on the ground.
When you do your intimidation float, do you T-pose perchance?
Different type of intimidation.
He
Anyhow,
stands up, he stands up. He says, "I would take your hand, but we haven't made many deals as of yet, and I haven't heard your name. I only know of you people as the mages from Outland. It's not quite often that we get a handful of mages that have no affiliation with Maiden Tower.
The name's Friedrich. These are my companions. Do I let them introduce themselves? I suppose I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Fia wouldn't introduce herself. She'd just directly ask where Isobel is.
Isabel.
Straight to the point.
I know not who this Isabel is. Would you describe this person?
Small girl, massive rack, Australian accent.
Fictional accent.
Yes. What is this Australian?
You'll know it when you hear it, don't worry.
Uh-huh.
While they're talking, Valak wants to move around behind Renault.
Alright. You do so.
You're still invisible, right?
Yes.
What all furniture can we see?
Well, on the back wall of the room, there's a lofty shelf arrangement. There are a couple books there, and many things that look like trophies. On the wall, there are 3 stuffed heads of predator creatures mounted. And there also is what appears to be a stuffed wolf standing besides the desk to the left side.
Speaking of the environment, 2 questions. Ground? It's wooden floor, right?
Yes,
So
wooden floor beneath you.
earth magic is not gonna be very useful. Second, I just have to see. 5 cubic feet is a lot, right? Probably not that much water in there.
Probably not.
Yeah.
By itself, it's not much.
It's like 1.5
Yeah,
cubic
depends
meters.
on how. 5 cubic feet.
Yes,
That's the
that's one.
minimum I need to
Yeah, we
do
measure,
anything
we
useful.
measure by freedom units.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, that would make sense because this is an uncivilized land we're in right now.
Exactly.
But I bet they're the global hegemon.
Yes, the Normans, they control everything.
Anyhow, I don't comment on my companion's behavior, and I just shake
so-
my hand slightly.
So, Isaac, you're not introducing yourself?
Isaac will just say, will just respond curtly with his name. Just, it's Isaac. I'm Isaac, or something like that. And inquire about the bookshelves. And basically, Isaac asks if he could read a book while the rest of them sort out their shit, because it's going to be very tedious knowing these people.
I would ask that you do not peruse my shelves.
And I am asking too.
Yes, I can see how you might be very tedious to deal with. I suggest you stand there quietly as you hear what I propose. Yes, it is not often that we have mages appear in these towns, especially those that are completely unaffiliated with anyone. There is some talk among my circles that you might be spies.
And
So
for
as
whom
for
do
who
you
exactly?
think we are a spy to?
Well, one of your compatriots is from the Astron Empire, is he not?
Was.
Most spies say they were from somewhere. You always can still be a part of things. Of course, there's not much the Astrons would be spying on us about this far inland.
It's a personal disagreement with certain military leadership. I'd prefer not to get into it.
Of course. Then the question remains, why are you here?
I started here for work. However, I stumbled into my companions and decided that they required assistance.
So your companions were already here.
They are from a faraway land, different continent, you see.
I do not recall hearing of any travelers, aside from entering through the east gate of this township not long ago, and them causing quite a bit of trouble for our resident Captain Chivon.
Do I recall that name? I do not think I do.
That would be a knowledge local.
That's before you.
But yes, it
You
was
can,
something that
yeah.
happened before Bright met up with this group.
Also, which of us caused that trouble again?
Yes.
Knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Knowledge. Which knowledge would that be?
A local.
I
Was
do
that
not
patrol
know
event?
these
You do
people.
not know. You are completely ignorant upon a Captain Chivon.
Isaac is struggling to narrow down which trouble he's caused.
There's been so much trouble. Could you narrow it down?
Like, yeah,
Do you
automatically,
have any idea how little that narrows it down?
Like Isaac will unironically say, again, I will reiterate, my party may be a bit troublesome to deal with at times. Could you please narrow that down? I don't know which of my party members you're talking about.
Yes, of course. There was an incident with a troll. A woman matching this one's, he points at Fia. The description had been coming to the guards, telling them about, well, a troll that appeared, and so did the families of the shepherd there. When the knight captain sallied out with his paladins, he was distraught to see that after a day of searching the countryside, there was no troll to slay. No trace of a troll to slay.
Trolls do tend to lead nomadic lives. Perhaps you might want to station some guardsmen out there, just in case.
Yes, some spellcasters wander in, making various amounts of holes south of the farm, south of the shepherd's land, and have purloined with some sheep of his flock.
What would we do with sheep?
Yes, what would you do with sheep? What would you do with a lion in a cart, might I ask?
Well, the lion's self-explanatory, it's a pet. And the cart is a cart.
It goes places.
Are you aware of how wheels operate?
Indeed,
How,
what
what-
is difficult to deal with. I suppose you must you must be to be a magic user of some sort.
Enough idle chatter. Let's get to the point. You wanted to see us for some reason.
Yes, I wanted to see you people for some reason. Yes. I had hopes that you as magic casters would be quite unique individuals, and unique you did turn out to be. Though I don't quite have a handle on skill sets. There is, after all, one of you that can make a troll appear and disappear at will, it seems. That much is certain. But I was thinking that it'd be nice to have some magic casters do some work for me, especially after they come in and have their wagon left out in the wilderness where anyone could just take it.
Anyone did just take it.
Well, nobody protected had taken it, or had their.
We left a lion in it to protect it.
Yes, there's a shame about that protection the lion offered. I heard when we repossessed the wagon, the lion acted much like a common kitten.
It is a well-trained lion.
Very well trained indeed.
The line was more of an implication. It's kind of like the signs you leave around this town. It's just because the sign physically doesn't stop us. And you'll just leave it at that.
Too bad this character can't know the out of order incident.
But
The
you get
mention of the lion.
Isaac is basically conveying to him, yes, if we wish to play a game of, well, the sign didn't stop us, well, we're more than welcome to play that game.
At the mention of the lion, Valak draws one of his daggers and has it ready to jam into Renault's throat.
Now, You said you wanted us to do some work for you. Considering you've stolen our goods and our cart and possibly a friend of ours, you'd better have some good incentive if you want us to work for you.
Isaac has been slowly walking to the bookshelf this whole time.
As for incentive, he gestures to one of his, I'm just gonna say thugs, to get into Isaac's way as he walked over to the bookshelf. I do believe...
Is it in my short range?
No, the whole room's in your short
Actually, is
range.
it touch? Is that spell touch?
Is what spell touch?
Ah, yes, it is a touch spell. Store structure.
Yeah.
Are you gonna pocket all the books?
Well, after all, there's just a guard there, and you know, it's just a real shame that someone just so happened to take this bookshelf where anyone could have taken it.
Can the guard be
have
cannon?
What?
that would kill him.
I said, can the guard be ammunition for Isaac's yeet cannon?
Yes, but he would get an agility check to dodge out of the way of the hole that opens up. But he's basically screwed the moment he falls into it. Unless he has a means to navigate midair. Isaac will smile at the guard and say, "Good sir, there's a bookshelf right over there, left where anyone could take it."
Unlike your wagon, it is protected.
Isaac will chuckle. Yes, it is protected from the common folk, good sir.
In fact, you could consider a cart with a lion in it to be protected from common folk. Really, it has the same level of protection.
Now, you gentlemen seem to have a apprehension of what I call it to for. Your wagon and your chest of goods are of little interest to me and can be returned to you easily, as well as your mewling lion and that cub that we've been keeping safe for you, as well as your big-chested woman and that moron that seeks to go off to lands of Nox.
Isaac
Yes,
will
we
take
would.
this opportunity.
Go ahead.
Isaac will take this opportunity to inquire to the good man. Isaac will say, "Good sir, do you know what the most important thing for negotiation is?"
I could name a great many things, but you obviously have something in mind, yes?
Yes, personally, it is my opinion that the most important thing in negotiation is how much the opposite party values the thing you are offering or asking for. Now, I will be upfront with you, good sir. I do not value the things which you are offering me as much as I value many other things. My personal freedom being one of those things that I value more.
And what about money?
Isaac again chuckles and says, "We are a party of varying skills. Money is but a day's labor for us, for as much as we wish to acquire."
I, for one, think I know exactly what I wish to be paid in. You seem like the type of man to have information.
Yes, quite. As I said, I have a relationship with the local lord and quite a few people in towns across the Arnes.
How much do you know about the knighthood of this place?
Do you speak of the Knights of the Westfield, or do you speak of the Paladins of the Arnes?
What was the name of the knight that was mentioned as the Eternal Cabal member?
You only have the name Beaumont. Beaumont.
Does the name Beaumont mean anything to you?
He seems to rub his soul patch for a moment before then opening his palms. Who can say? There are a great many knights by the name of Beaumont.
I
And
doubt.
few of them
I
have
sincerely
names.
doubt that. This one would have very extensive meaning. He would be a man who seems far too old for what he truly is.
It is not beyond my ability to look into such things. If you wish to do a task for me, I can put my full efforts into it, depending on the type of task you do.
Let's say I
I
wish to
was-
do a Let's say I wish to do a task for you. What exactly would you have us do?
There's the spirit of negotiation. There's a man that came into town not long ago. A man from across the seas. Man with noble title, by Gulassen. Shah Gulassen. He captains a vessel not far from the mouth of the ocean, in which, the mouth of the river that, Arya Tears flows out into. It is a concern of ours that his needs be met fully. There was a problem with a associate of ours that was meeting with him, and we wish to see that the meeting has no more issues.
You wish to escort this nobleman to make sure nothing bad happens to him?
Escort him and the things that he is recovering back to his vessel, and things will be as you desire.
How far exactly is the vessel?
It is not far from what I've said to you. It could be a good 20 miles from there.
Does the river pass by there?
Huh?
Does the river pass by there?
What do you mean by this river passed by there?
Well-
The location he wants to go to start the escort?
Both that and the vessel.
The vessel is where the river pours out into.
Wonderful. And the
As-
location we need to
It's a sea-bearing vessel.
yes, and the location we need to be, or we need to meet the noble.
Yes, there's this village in the Leonwood. A small hamlet, not far into there. I can show you it on a local map if you do consider taking this job from me.
And how much cargo are we talking about here?
It shall be contained in the large crate. A very
Anything? Go ahead.
It's a very large crate, very heavy. I would suppose that you can put your wagon to the task once I put it back in your hands and out of my protection.
Anything illegal to local customs?
It is not something that I wish for local customs to take interest in. So it would be best if you do not take the main roads through Westfield as you return to Dear Capitan's ship.
How close does the river pass to the village we're supposed to meet him in?
The village is not by the river, it's in the woods.
I'm simply wondering if we can convert our cart into a river-faring vehicle and simply load the crate on there. Seems a safer road to travel than going through the woods by any means.
His eyes sparkle. I did not take you for a carpenter, good sir. Is it perhaps your magic to turn such a vessel into something of that?
Any vessel made of wood can be turned into a ship, if you know what you're doing. And my companions do have the ability to shape wood.
Is that true?
I
It's
believe
I
not
do
a very-
have the create sphere. Depends
not
on
a
how
very
you
good
rule
one.
the permanence of reshaping
Yes.
existing material.
because I remember for a fact you dismantled doors, right?
He pulled
Yes,
out
that was the metal
nails.
hinges. Yeah, I disintegrated hinges.
Well, we can make a steel ship. It's fine. We'll make a battleship.
An ironclad.
Exactly.
It'll sink right
Right,
to
now
the
I have to go
bottom.
do some buoyancy tables.
We'll
Depends
make
on how
a
deep the
glorious
river is.
southern ironclad. The South shall rise again.
So is it?
What the hell will
is-
customs even say if an ironclad shows up on the river?
Right this way, sir. We did not mean to impede imperial authority.
Is the river wide enough to bear an ironclad?
No, it's not a matter of width, it's a matter of depth.
Yes.
Yes.
Is it deep and wide enough to bear an ironclad?
Well, we would have to learn this. Yes. The question is, how far is the river, and is it even worth going by river?
Does not appear.
Actually, the question would be if it's worth going at all, because I think
I love-
out
I
of
love the idea.
character, we have leverage over him actually, so we
Yeah.
could just over the guy we're negotiating with, in quotes, because Fia is not exactly in the mood to actually negotiate with this guy. Instead of just beating him up and
Oh, it's that time of
asking
month, is
him
it?
politely where her stuff is.
I love also the idea of before the out of character comment that the party just immediately broke out into autistic debate about how to implement this smuggling task we were given in front of the smuggler who asked us to smuggle something. I was like, no,
Yeah.
this would be more efficient. No. But,
So-
do we have enough? Will it float? Is the river deep enough? And just back and forth between all of us. It's just in front of him as complete as if he just ceased to exist.
I think he would appreciate that. He would know he hired the right people for the job.
Yes, I always wanted autists.
Artists are just one letter away from artists.
What isn't?
Yeah. He's French, so it is.
Well, good thing. he's
Anyway, are we actually going to negotiate with this guy, or do we just
Say
start
this,
feeding
are
him
you
up-
saying this
beating
in
him up?
character as Fia, or are you saying this to...
No, this is out of character, because
My
Out of character.
character.
I'm not
would-
actually very fond of this.
I don't like doing this, but
Stuff for him.
right? I don't like doing this, but carrying a crate wouldn't be that difficult for Isaac, right? Because he can move structure. So even if we have to walk, it'll just be a 20-mile walk with a man who knows the location.
We
Yeah,
could
it's
even
not about
we
doing the thing.
we could
No, the
waltz
thi-
right in
the
through the
thi-
front door, but I don't want this guy knowing I can do that.
Yeah, the thing is, he clearly doesn't have information about the moment where, or Beaumont or whatever the hell, the knight we're
So
looking
then he's
for
useless.
just yet. But he's clearly a man of means who can look for it, and the knight is currently our best connection to the Eternal Cabal.
Unless you want to look outside of Diarnas, of course.
I would prefer we don't go straight into undead infested lands just yet.
Yet.
Yet. We will eventually have to. It's just a matter of when. So, as much as he seems like a massive sleazeball and French, he might be our best option for now.
Well, forgive me for not knowing what a Norman accent sounds like.
Sacre
I mean, Fia is technically a very patient person. It just kind of feels like doing this man a service after he robbed us is not a particularly wise.
He- like he said, he didn't really rob us. He has been keeping this stuff safe, and he did say he'll give it to us if we work. Like he'll just straight up give it back to us if we work for him.
Yeah, that's kind of extortion. Yeah.
It is kind of extortion, but he's also paying for the work, right? He's not just saying do this work and you get your stuff back. He's saying do this job for me. I will give you the stuff back at the beginning, and then I'll even pay you afterwards. Besides, I bet we can rinse it for a bit more than information.
Oh, I had an interesting idea.
Oh?
Basically, I suggest we take this so that we can have this wonderful idea in character. Because I had Galaxy Brain Plan.
Which was?
Basically, we have Valak Glamour as the thug that just barred my way to the bookshelf. Have him intentionally be caught as a teleport beacon. Network. There we go. Network finished dying. Did I cut out at all?
No.
Nope.
Okay, good. So basically, we have Valak intentionally get caught with this stuff as the thug. And I teleport him out of wherever he gets imprisoned.
You mean after you guys do the work of bringing that stuff?
Well, it's not really work, is it? It's just we show up and it's there.
Escort.
Yeah,
yes.
it's a 40-mile walk at the worst, right? And I'm sure a man of his importance can offer some horses, especially if this mission is so important to him.
Yeah, basically, I want, but more along the topic of, I want this NPC to think I am a mage that specializes in blacksmithing and forging shit. I don't want him to know I can store it away.
Or teleport.
Yeah.
Yes. Either way, it's currently our best option to do the job. We might kill this son of a bitch later.
Yes, it is very bold of him to assume that he could even survive threatening us with any of our property.
Anyhow, I turn to him and say, I negotiated my price. I believe the rest of my companions have their own.
Your price was the search for a Beaumont. Yes.
Exactly.
Isaac will speak up and basically say, as a member of a very upstanding transport operation, surely you have individuals who could help me transport some metal wares.
But of course I can.
Basically, I'm striking up a deal with him. I want him to be my channel for metal.
I just figured
As if-
something out. This
Yeah.
man is a very savvy businessman, right? What's the one type of thing? What's the one thing we don't have for Tower King? We don't have someone to do the accounting.
Wait. You can't have him do accounting. He's not Jewish.
He's French.
Listen, he can hire Jews. It's fine. I don't expect him to do the accounting by hand. He's
So
clearly
what
going to
you're
be like,
saying, Verdon, is that Jews exist in your world.
Not necessarily.
oh no.
I mean, Isaac's in this world, so yes, but
Jews exist in this world, and we're going to change that.
I can almost feel like Inlord is still with us.
He will always be with us in spirit.
So
Yeah, Isaac is basically going to strike up a trade deal for. I dump my metal wares on this location, and nobody asks where it comes from. No matter what metal comes in.
It can be done. And his eyes look to Fia, expecting her to say anything that she possibly wants. But this is where 2 Alpha, who, yes, exists, interjects. I have an addition to what Friedrich said. I have a list of names I would like you to look into. Not many of them will be in this country, but this can be discussed later.
Smart thinking. So it's Duck and Arizem who still haven't had their. But Duck can't even say anything without revealing himself.
I have a plan for that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
So-
called a quick stab because he's still in the stabbing range of this guy.
Identified her and just nod to her.
Isaac will also turn and nod as well, with a more implication of "Don't worry, there is a plan."
I mean, out of character, my actual plan is because this guy is underground, which is really stupid of him. Because I have tremor sense. I have tremor sense. I can probably detect any emergency exit and just block them all off.
Like,
can trap
honestly,
him in
If you
here.
aren't standing on wood, yes.
I would
Well,
like
yeah,
like I said, he
I would
might
have
be
to-
useful later. He might be useful later as an
Yeah.
accountant.
yeah. Just really annoyed that I can just off him right now.
It's gonna be fine.
Patience will prevail.
Ask for what you need.
Of course, the femoid wants to jump to the emotional response.
Yeah.
Playing 2 in character, are you, Iris?
Yes. What Fia wants is her chest back right now.
And number
Well-
2 reason why you're really playing a woman, you really want a big chest.
Well, he said he's giving us our stuff back because he doesn't really care about it. It was just a way to get us to talk
Yeah.
to him, right?
Yeah.
So
now.
he will give us our stuff back right now, I assume. So ask for something else.
I mean, not much else is on my wish list.
God, you didn't even ask
So-
for a pony.
Yeah.
We will need horses to ferry the cart if the river plan does not pan out.
I mean, he would provide us with transportation in any case, so...
Yes, I'm just saying you can ask to keep the horses after the job is done.
This guy could probably connect you to fabricating a couple identities if you want any.
As if anyone ever asked for your papers since you entered this town. They're Norman, not German. Or Australian.
The Australians don't even ask for your papers. You either present them or they beat you down.
Yeah, my extra request would be basically a list of all the places that have large libraries.
One
That we
needn't,
could explore
ask me-
later.
One needn't ask me for. Sorry. You needn't ask me for a list, and there are very short supply of libraries and Aldianes. One
Isaac
can be
will
found
clarify
in
for
Maiden
the-
Tower.
Isaac will clarify for the Femoid. I think what our comrade is meaning here is the list of libraries that the public are not so keen to knowledge of.
Yeah.
Well, if you're
You could
All the libraries, not just public ones.
If you are so interested in libraries, I can pull some connections in the capital and get you into a nobleman's library.
Smart thinking.
Yes.
That will
This,
do, yeah.
Bucket, it looks like he's stroking his chin, but it's just the plate of his helmet. And that leaves William and what's her name? Isabel.
And me.
Oh, well, we I don't want to reveal that you're here just yet. I assume you're just going to speak as an invisible voice and ask for something?
Yes.
Good.
But perhaps it is a good idea for you guys to leave before he does.
Just stand. The best idea would be for you to stand in the center of the room, somewhere like between us, and speak. And I'll just explain that you're a camouflage expert, so we can ensure that his package won't be assaulted by any guards.
Ah, yes, camouflage.
Yes, camo. I mean, but Bucket was in the literal army, so he would know about the concept.
In a modern army, maybe.
Are you saying that they didn't ambush people in non-modern armies?
Ambush, yes, but I don't know if they widely use the word camouflage for that.
Possibly.
So are William and Isabel in the room with us, or are they being held hostage somewhere else?
They're not in the room with you currently, no.
Okay.
Yeah,
To
we
be fair,
didn't ask
we are
about
receiving
that,
free
actually.
babysitting service, so why would we turn it down?
Ooh.
So, seemingly out of nowhere, a dagger appears before Renault, hovering over his desk, spinning slowly around, point down, and he hears a voice whispering in his ear. And my price is the continued safety of my friends and my pets. Oh, and 1,000 gold.
Verno looks over his shoulder, not certain if there was someone behind him or not. Then he looks for. If your
It's our
price is 1,000 gold, 1,000 gold you shall have. Your pets and friends are being held in safety. I would thought you wouldn't want them returned to you, but if you wish for them to continue being held, so be it.
It's a good idea to keep the lion with him for now, but I think we would want, as annoying as he is, William does have a few spells he can use in combat. Probably best to keep him with us.
No mention
But will
of
he
Isabel,
use
of
them?
course.
Dearly.
Isabel can literally warp through walls. She can come with us if she wants.
Yes, but she's also a coward.
Oh.
Who's doomed
I
to
suppose.
die above all else.
Oof. That's pretty bad. Speaking of our companions, I'm sure they have their own prices. And then I stop for a second. This package must be very important to you if you're willing to put up such a bargain.
Well, it is not just this package. I consider that, and I hope that once you get used to the work, you might consider more permanent employment, taking more jobs on my behalf.
I'm sure we can work out an agreement. We do have our own plans, after all. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Tower King.
Yes, much like your friend's plan to run off to Court Knox. I take it.
If we do end up following his plan, we would need gear, and who better to work for and earn money than you?
Precisely. Now,
I'm just buttering him up.
Now, do indeed keep that in mind when you wish to threaten myself with a knife.
It's our subterfuge expert. He is rather upset about our missing friends.
I can see he's absolutely shaken.
But I'm sure you will grow to appreciate his service when nobody even discovers your package on the road.
If you can make the package completely unseen, then it is quite a feat and a pleasure to have you. Sir, the subterfuge expert.
That just leaves our two companions. They have their own prices. I'm sure they'll tell you themselves once you release them.
And to release them I shall. Do wait out upstairs in the courtyard. I have further business to make and markings to write down.
I pause right before the stairs and turn around. You will need to supply us some animals to ferry the cart as well.
There were an horse and an ass that were, I suppose, yours. Yes.
Wonderful. They will do.
We had two horses, didn't we? We had William's horse.
Oh yeah, there were
And,
two horses,
Russ-
and there was. I keep forgetting Williams and Sunhound's former Sunhound's
Yes.
companion.
Wonderful. They'll do. Release them as well.
That I shall. Oh yes, and in case I do not speak with you before you run off, yes, Shah Gulasan. He is a dark-skinned man with red hair. I hear he wears black robe of late.
Oh god, it's a ninja.
Dark skin with red hair. That doesn't track.
It's a black ginger. It's a ninja.
Those Injure. Jesus. Ooh, oh boy. Yes, I am. Those men of Ostrogosa are very strange. Especially those of the Sultanate, from what I hear.
Very well. I suppose we shall take our leave for now.
And if you could, please point me to the saboteur so I know that he's actually leaving the room.
Drop the invisibility.
Well, Valak?
Sorry, I got up for a second. I didn't realize you were gonna ask me something. What was it?
You just need to drop the invisibility and walk out so we can so he knows we're actually outside.
Right. So Valak walks over, invisible, to the door, and the dagger gently flies away from the desk back to Valak's hand, and it disappears when it gets to Valak as he walks out the door.
Renault taps his finger on the desk, not reassuring, but I'll take it.
People who can be invisible whenever they please tend to not have the nicest personalities. I'm sure you'll understand.
I will be quite understanding in the future.
And with that, I
You
walk
might
out.
want to also mention that Valak would be very upset if something were to happen to the lions.
Oh, I'm sure he gets that with the death threat.
Message is quite clear.
Yes.
Alright, so anyway, you, before you leave, he, talked to his companions and they left out behind, the cellar from behind you.
I like how he thinks that even if the invisible person leaves, we couldn't just get in there anyways.
Well, you made no impression that any of you could teleport, but...
Fair enough. But, I mean, we're wizards. He should expect something.
Well, in most settings, wizards aren't exactly rare or common.
Has this room been... have I noticed any of the room visibly lined with anything like lead?
You'd have to roll a perception check while you're in the room.
Just roll it as we're leaving.
Yeah, I'll do that. Where my perception go?
You don't know. For all you know, the room is lined with bread.
You're not even sure you were in a room.
Head empty, only bread.
Well,
Right.
that handles our companions and our items. I suppose we should just wait here until he delivers them, right?
Alright, so after the thugs leave the cellar, they tell some of the other guards that are nearby things before they go running off from the property. From within the villa, of course, though, the door opens and William walks out with a groggy-looking Isabel walking behind him. Ah, so you've met those kind gentlemen, have you?
I wouldn't exactly call them kind, but they were helpful.
Yes, they were quite helpful. They told me that for a very low price of doing work for them, I could get passage to this Court Knox thing that they talk about. Quite fascinating.
And what about you, Isabel? What did you ask for? your worst Australian accent when you're speaking as a bird.
Oi, this Shayla asked for some sleepy times.
What?
Like, crikey, can't a lady get some sleep at night without getting tossed over at the Mackers?
Oh no. That is the dumbest thing to ask for. I'm so glad Cal is not here.
Didn't even ask for a keg of Fosters.
Jezebel can't drink, so.
What about a Vegemite sandwich?
Isn't that New Zealand?
Nah. That's Australian.
Yeah, more you learn. Them Kiwis. Anyhow, it's a much longer later that your wagon comes back, pulled by the horses. Friedrich's was it a mule or was it a donkey?
I believe it was mule.
Friedrich's mule is being led over. Of course, there's the bundle of weapons on its back, and there's the.
No, I didn't leave anything except the feed with the mule. I literally carry all of my stuff. The bundle of weapons is on my back.
I thought it was too heavy for you to carry them all.
Nope, I can carry them all just fine. The feed is the thing that was heavy because mule feed is stupid heavy for some reason.
As it ought to be. And all the wagon is filled, of course, with the prior contents of the wagon.
All right. Well,
About
we
how
have a
long
job to
was
do.
it for the wagon, for them to go and fetch the wagon and stuff and bring it back to us.
If you had a watch, you'd say a good 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they had to
I
get there.
suppose-
They had to gather the things in one place and then bring it over. Still pretty efficient.
Yeah, I was expecting a couple of hours. Because I was thinking Valak in that time would slip over to the marketplace and buy a few things.
Anything in particular?
I wanted to get a hooded cloak for him
Ah.
so he wouldn't have to constantly have his glamour up.
I actually have
Would
a.
have me a white cloak with a pointed hood, or
I-
not just for special occasions.
That one's for his wedding day.
how large? How large are your horns? Just asking.
Here, I'll post the picture of him.
Yeah, his character's very horny.
I'm just wondering if because I do have a full face mask which is in the shape of a bucket.
Oh no, that wouldn't.
That wouldn't cover. His horns are
what a
too
shame.
wide.
What a shame! I can't get him to wear another bucket.
Well, you could always wear a paper bag.
I don't think they make paper bags that large.
A burlap sack, then.
Perhaps. Well, while he's doing that, I remembered something. I should ask Renee to send someone with us. Someone who knows exactly where we're supposed to be meeting the nobleman.
Before you left, he would have pointed out on the local map where you go to, and oddly enough,
Didn't
it's
he
a
men-
very familiar place.
Yes, I'm
Some
wondering
recent
if he
travels.
mentioned a certain. I'm wondering if he mentioned a certain house. I assume that was the same place.
One would guess it is the same location from last time.
How close was the entrance to to the crypt?
About a good 200 feet from the
Right.
hamlet.
I'm just thinking because I remember there were two entrances, right?
Yes.
One in the cave and one.
The
I was
normal
just
entrance is 200 feet. The other one is much further.
I was just wondering if we can use the cave system to get closer, but
You can't
Probably
bring a
not
wagon
worth it.
through the cave.
yeah, probably not worth it.
Unfortunately, I can't put the wagon in my pocket yet.
Just pocket an entire wagon.
I mean, you theoretically could, but I don't advise you showing your abilities just yet.
Is the wagon within the large category?
No.
It's not. I thought.
No, it's
That was-
it's huge at the smallest.
Oh, okay. Well, you can use that store thing to store the crate. We have to load into the wagon, I assume.
And looking at OBS, we're at 2 hours and a little bit. I think since I feel like this is a good stopping point, unless you need to do anything else in town. Because I can just next time we start, I can just skip the travel section and get you immediately back to that hamlet.
Yes, good. So we should let Valak go by his outfit.
All right.
Also, how readily available would a map of DRNS or the world be in the marketplace?
The world completely unavailable. DRNS. Let me roll 1d100 because that's what this is practically made for. No, not in stock. You would find one for essentially Westfield, pretty much, and that's about it.
Okay.
I have a map of the world. It's just not very detailed.
For how?
Okay, quick question. How high would I have to fly to visibly see all the continents?
That would be a question for your nearest NASA agent.
Okay, let me see satellites. How high are they?
You could roughly calculate that based on how high you have to fly till you pass out.
You can barely see Russia from looking at your back patio. I don't think you can see the entire world just by flying upwards.
You see, I can just give myself a helmet that lets me breathe where there's no air, so I could just go up.
It's strangely cheap how it is to breathe in a vacuum.
It's wonderful magic, I tell you what.
Yes, Piss Taker, thanks for the input. Oh, sorry, it'd be Peter Ian Staker. The first YouTube comment, of course, is to correct the autism.
Oh, and what's the YouTube comment say?
The chat, I'll just read it out. You wouldn't be able to see all the continents unless there are only a couple close together. It's a globe after all, unless this is a magic world. Well, I think Duck would disagree with you. All worlds are, of course, flat.
Exactly. I was just going to say that.
And Australia is on the bottom half of that hemisphere. Sorry, on the bottom half of the
disc.
of the disc. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, so we can see the disc. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I mean, I just have to stay up there long enough to make the most accurate map of the world imaginable in this time period.
Flat Earth, an ideology believed all across the globe. Alright, yeah, I think this is about enough for the session, minus a quick shopping trip if this is what Valak wishes to do.
Shopping, you
I
say?
can do that off
Yeah.
stream.
Thank you everyone for being here. Hopefully next week I'll not have my own problems that prevent me from DMing. Everyone else doesn't seem to have a life, so they'll be here.
I mean, you say that, but last 2 times, or was it just the last time? I don't remember.
Last time I had a headache, and I think before then it was also my fault. And then the time before that was just all Cal. And everyone else here has a good attendance record.
Anyhow, see you the week after this, because we all know next week is not happening.
That's how the fates deem it to be. Any last parting words?
I'm surprised the 2 Alpha wasn't an absolute ass during the it's not an interrogation, it's a negotiation, of course.
Why would
Let's,
she?
I also would like
Renault
to point
has
out
no
that
idea
2
how
Alpha was
easy
forgotten
he got
during
off
the
because
negotiation.
the things I was going to have the shit demon do to him.
We solved this more diplomatically for now, and we're getting paid in information at least to do
And
this.
where are you getting the implication that 2 is some kind of bitch?
Other than the fact literally everything we do she complains, yeah, there's no implication.
Have you seen the things that you usually do?
Literally no one else in the party complains.
Because everyone else in the party's autist as well.
Well, if she didn't want to be in a party of autists, she shouldn't have been born in a lab tube, alright?
Yeah. Now, Vern, I would like to point out that 2 Alpha is the most autistic one of us because she is unable to read the atmosphere of a party.
Exactly.
Imagine being so autistic that you cannot get the social cues of fellow autists.
AC. Have you witnessed this party in action?
Yes, like Bright said, none of us have been complaining.
We all act surprisingly coordinated despite everything.
It's all coordinated, individualized autism.
Exactly. Everything we do somehow serves towards the ultimate goal of making Tower King.
Yes, and I have secured a very nice line of income for the
Exactly.
I can't believe the
funding
character conversation for considering this had to include the thing that isn't going to happen, Tower King.
Tower King is happening. You can't stop it.
And
Hey
it's
man, 1,000
subsidiary-
gold makes some nice seed money for a business.
And its subsidiary, Tower Bell.
Yes.
Tower Bell is just the PMC branch. It's fine.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for showing up, and thank you for. I'm going to read it in the joking way again. Peter Ian Staker for showing up in our chat section. Everyone have a good rest of the weekend, and if it's Australia land, didgeridoo better.